Hey guys! Okay, tell me if this sounds familiar. You're chilling out on a ripe hot day in late June when you do a dramatic spit take of your lemonade because you suddenly remembered that after June comes July and you've made no preparations for Art Fight. Which is a grievous mistake because, as you all know, Art Fight is the only important holiday in July. We all forget how time works sometimes, it's totally normal, shut up. Yeah, so it's late June, Art Fight is less than 2 weeks away, and if you clicked on this video, you probably procrastinated hard. Good news! You're not screwed. As a card-carrying member of the ADHD Artists Club, we're gonna get through this together. By the way, subscribe if you want to see or hear more art stuff. And media analysis. I also do that too. And story times. Occasionally. Whatever. I do a lot of stuff. Subscribe if you like hearing this kind of thing. The very first thing you've got to do is fill out your little team card template thingy. These things. This right here. What the hell are these things called? I don't know. Please help. And post it wherever you are online. Why? Because most people save characters and follow artists ahead of time, and it is really freaking hard to search for specific things on Art Fight's actual website. It sucks, but most of your followers probably aren't gonna go through the trouble of altering the website's URL link to find you, when they don't even know if you're gonna be there, let alone what your exact Art Fight handle is. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, there isn't a feature on the website to search users, so you have to replace the username here part of this URL I'm showing on screen with the artist you're trying to find and paste it into the search bar. As a bit of an aside, because of this system, your Art Fight username should really be the same username you have on all of your other art socials. If people who support your art want to attack you but lost track of your Art Fight card, they'll most likely just try putting the name they know you by into the URL. The point is, make and post your profile card yesterday. Art Fight is a lot more fun when people actually know that you're playing. But Elliot, I don't have my character profiles finished yet. It's okay, don't stress. Just prioritize drawing the character thumbnails first so you can have those to put in your card. And put a little heads up in the post description that some of those characters aren't quite ready yet, but will be soon. Speaking of which, let's get to that. The main thing I'd suggest is if you've done Art Fight before, try focusing on sprucing up already existing character profiles instead of adding new ones. One big thing is that it spares you the time of having to actually do the written portion, since it should just already be there. Though, if you've made changes to your story and you've got the time, it shouldn't take too long to make alterations. If you know you don't have it in you for a complete overhaul, I'd focus on any big changes that fundamentally change how someone might perceive your character. Like if you've aged them up or down, or made significant changes to their personality or life circumstances, stuff like that. Next, something simple you could do is add any recent art of them to your reference gallery. And when I say recent, I mean pretty much just anything that wasn't already there before. Then of course, you can also remove some old art where you're just like, ooh, yeah, not feeling that one anymore. Because you can improve a lot year to year skills-wise, so it's actually a good thing if you're cringing a bit at your outdated references. It means you're getting better as an artist. If you aren't happy with the current images you have and don't really have more, or you just want to add on for the sake of it, try doing a little sketch sheet instead of fully rendered pieces. This is also just a fun thing to include regardless of the time crunch because you can really show off your OC's personality and overall vibe. I can't speak for other artists, but I know I'm a bit more inclined to pick characters to attack that have a clearly defined, well, character. Okay, now what if this is your first year or for whatever reason you really want to add a new character? It might be tempting to just try and dump your whole story cast in there, but really, it's better to just have 1 or 2 entries if you're in a time crunch. There's no shame in that. That way you'll have more time to actually polish them up and end up with something you're satisfied with, and other artists will be interested in. I've done Art Fight for the past 2 or so years, but I've been wanting to add Rachel, a minor character from my developing story The End Was New and Mavis's daughter, which is the OC I was redesigning in my, OC redesign video. Not sure how much control you actually have over this, but for me, it really helped that for some reason, I just had her design pop into my head fully formed. Like, yes, that's her, immediately. I don't know, some OCs are just like that, y'all know how it is. I decided to draw 3 references of her just being cute, doing her thing, but I was able to do that because I started drawing this at the beginning of June, which is apparently cutting it close for a lot of people, but if you have like only a couple of weeks, I would definitely stick to just one drawing for your main full color reference. I guess an easy way to have more time is to have it not be in color, but that kind of makes things difficult for the other players and just isn't as eye-catching. You could maybe stick to just flats though, that'd probably be a good compromise. Probably a little bit redundant because I kind of already touched on this, but something else you could do is have secondary reference images that are more low-key, like a sketch page. Again, this is a cool thing to include because you can really show off their personality. Then also, again, if you've drawn this character before, throw that shit in there. The more the merrier. Recycle your art. Save your time. For the character description, there's a few ways you can go with this, but I'm just going to tell you how I do it. In this situation, it's probably best not to write in paragraph form. Stick mostly to bullet points, and start with basic demographics people would generally ask if not told. But right on top, personally, I do like to have 2 or 3 sentences explaining the gist of their story. This character has a short bit of page time, so I can even sum things up in one. Rachel is a trans 8th grader in 1986 determined to be like any other teenage girl, but this proves difficult with a mom who won't listen and thinks that she's doing what's best. There. That about does it. The loose formula I typically go with is age, pronouns and gender, also if they're trans, sexuality and race, nationality or ethnicity. If they're a historical fiction character, which most of mine are, it'd be helpful to add a birth year too. Then after all that, I list out their key personality traits and hobbies. And you want those to reflect in your references too. So for Rachel, she is bubbly, empathetic, extroverted, loves fashion, and pop music. Likes and dislikes are also good too. And then, ooh, here's a fun one. Include their relation to any other characters you have up on Artfight to show off the deeper world behind them and so people are encouraged to draw them together. Especially if it's a love interest. Let's be real, people love an excuse to draw shippy art. So, for example, as I mentioned before, Rachel is Mavis's daughter in the past version of Mavis's life. Then if you have time, feel free to add a few points of additional info at the bottom that didn't seem to fit into any categories. Something else that's a fun option is to include some of this stuff on the main reference art itself too, kind of like an infographic, because it's now time to spread the word! Promo any characters you have open to attack on your socials, preferably along with your Artfight card. But didn't we do this before? I know, do it again. Do it again. The first time it was more just about a heads up that you're doing Artfight in the first place. This one can be focused on actually showing off your OCs in more detail. That's why I like the infographic format, because it does all the work of putting key info right in front of everyone's face instead of having to rely on them bothering to read the post description. Though, keep in mind, still communicate the same information in the Artfight description, because the website itself doesn't have alt text. Alright, now you're pretty much done. This last part you can definitely do during July itself, but if you're planning on going real hard and attacking the shit out of everyone, especially because the website almost always crashes for a few days every July 1st, I'd, maybe think about planning ahead on that one. Simplest and least overwhelming place to start, check out your friends, mutuals, and cool artists you follow. If they're participating, then they almost definitely have their Artfight cards up by now, and you can follow them or save their characters to attack. And maybe make a fun little threatening comment about how you're so gonna get him or something. If you're less picky, want to spread the love, or are just really competitive, you can also just browse the website itself. Then also, of course, no one says you can't get around to attacking characters you saved in previous years and just never got to. Or hell, I don't even think there's a rule against making another attack of a character you've already done. But don't quote me on that last part, I'm not actually sure. I know I have one character I was really excited to do last year, and an art mutual I meant to revenge, but unfortunately I didn't because I got burnt out, so hopefully I can hit him this year. Now go forth, my pretties! Fly to your computers and sketchbooks and make use of your training! If you're really new to all this and need more of a rundown of the basics, there's tons of videos by other artists going over how to play, terminology, navigating the website, etiquette, and anything else that you might need to know. Drop your art fight handles and team down in the comments and I'll try to check you guys out. And of course, feel free to blab about your characters. This is always and forever will be a blab safe zone. I will be fighting for Team Crystal. And you could find me, as usual, under EliArt7, this time with a lowercase e. To make it easier too, there will be a pinned comment to the link of my art fight profile. I try to have a video out every month, and I also do animatics. So if you like my art or my yammering, then subscribe. Good luck on Art Fight, and don't forget to have fun. See ya!